modern times, it seems like we don't cook with animal fats all that often. Of course, maybe if you're making confit or your grandmother's pie crust recipe calls for rendered lard, you might seek out animal fat. If you're on some kind of like carnivore diet, of course you're starting to be able to find like rendered tallow or duck fat or whatever in the grocery store. But cooking with animal fat as opposed to say like vegetable oil has some real benefits. A, you're actually adding layers of flavor to what you're cooking instead of using it simply as a cooking medium. Properly rendered and strained animal fat also has a very, very high smoke point. There's almost nothing better to sear meat in than beef fat. Thirdly, once you render the fat and remove the water from it, it has an extremely long shelf life. So as long as it's kept airtight in the refrigerator, again with no water in it, it will easily last for months. So there are a lot of reasons to try it. Maybe you've tried doing this before, didn't have great results. I'm here to show you how to render the fat with 7 to 10 minutes of active cooking, no more than 35 minutes tops, and you're going to be really amazed at the yield of liquid fat that you get. Please. So 5 pounds of lard, just diced up roughly. There's about 3 cups of water in here. All we're going to do is, of course, you could do pressure cook and manual and all that jazz, but I just do this. Meat. I'm going to turn it up to 30 minutes. I always turn this keep warm off, but let it do its thing. We'll come back in 30. You can see that the fat has cooked down quite a lot. And also, because it's boiling, you can tell that I released the pressure. There's no need to let this naturally depressurize. The boiling's not going to hurt it at this point. So all we're going to do is we're going to transfer this ladle by ladle into my Vitamix. We're going to fill this up. Seeing that this is hot, you don't want to overdo it. Maybe fill it up like a third to half of the way. Once it's pureed, we're going to go ahead and pour it through our chinois. You can see it's almost pure liquid. You can see it's looking real creamy and kind of emulsified, which you might think is not good for lard, but I'm going to show you in the next step how we're going to get rid of that. All we need to do is repeat this process probably only one more time. Here's the final step before cooling the lard. I'm going to let this simmer for 5 minutes or so. I'm going to scoop off any of that foam, but then just strain this out into a container, cool it down all the way. Once it's cold, the fat will solidify and any water will separate from the fat. You just want to pour off that water, and this rendered lard will be good to store for several months.